a week ago, we weren't talking about regime change in Iran. We were talking, and I remember being here on this network and on this show talking about the bill, the deportation bill. We were talking about mass deportations. We had these huge ICE protests, and which turned into riots very quickly in Los Angeles and other places. President Trump had his military parade. What's going on that has driven all of this so quickly?
Yeah, it's been a huge, quick diversion. Sometimes I think of media like the Eye of Sauron in Lord of the Rings, and it's just that the big eye will shift suddenly, and then everyone looks in that direction without paying any attention to the things that they were literally looking at just 5 minutes ago. So last week, of course, we had all of this stuff start to heat up in Israel. Israel took aim at Iran. Iran, of course, hates Israel, and all of a sudden, we're all supposed to look overseas. We're all supposed to look at this fighting between other nations, one of which is allied with America and one of which is not. And of course, America provides a great deal of support to Israel. But the things that are happening here at home are still happening. The deportations are still underway. The issues between ICE and Democrat lawmakers is still happening. City Comptroller and mayoral candidate Brad Lander in New York City yesterday was detained when he tried to obstruct an ICE arrest. He was demanding a judicial warrant for a man whose asylum hearing had failed. He was not permitted asylum, and so he was going to be deported, and Lander got in the way of that. He was arrested. We'll see what happens there. This follows a number of Democrat lawmakers who are either getting arrested or really trying to get arrested because they think that this will do better for them in the long run. At least that's my theory. We also still have Tren de Aragua in Aurora, Colorado. Police in that city released body cam footage showing Tren de Aragua members in Aurora, which we remember from last summer, terrorizing residents in that apartment building. So that's still going on. You still have riots going on in Portland, Oregon, where, that's like the main hobby is to riot. You have residents there basically begging Antifa not to destroy their property and not to, make things miserable like they did back in 2020 when they rioted for 100 straight days. But there's a lot going on stateside. There's a lot going on with the Supreme Court. We actually had a win today, which I was very excited about, where the Supreme Court upholds Tennessee's ban on child sex changes. So that's a huge win, not just for Tennessee, but for America at large and the 26 states that have put that into place. I know that a lot of women in America are super excited about this. A lot of people have been fighting for this for a really long time. So that's awesome. I can't even contain my joy about that. It's way more awesome than what's going on between Israel and Iran.
Well,
So I think,
Libby,
I think we should keep looking at these things.
Libby, if I can I ask you, and just a interesting tidbit, but you mentioned before something to me about the click-through rate on stories that you're seeing on the back end. So obviously the way that it usually works, post-millennial covers the day-to-day news domestically, and then human events, we've got the opinion, but also the international news. Can you tell me which side is picking up more traction right now, even as the Iran-Israel conflict takes off?
Yeah, our readers are primarily interested in domestic American news and the opinions on domestic American happenings. That's what people are looking to us for, and that is what we're focusing on. There's plenty of news out there on Iran and Israel, and will we or won't we, or trying to analyze, Trump's last Truth Social post and how that interacts with, Tucker Carlson and Ted Cruz and whatever else is going on. But our readers are really still interested in the things that impact their lives, right? Yesterday, we got word from Customs and Border Patrol that they had released 0 illegal immigrants into the country in May. That's zero illegal immigrants released by CBP into the country in May, and that contrasts with 64,000 in May of last year under the Biden administration. 64,000 to 0, that's pretty impressive. We also saw a release of some numbers that showed that real wages for blue-collar workers are up, I think, a couple of percentage points for something like the first time in 60 years. And that's what a lot of our readers are interested in. That's what we've been seeing in the numbers of what gets traction and what people want to read. I think also we had a story out yesterday about the fact that the majority of Americans across race, gender, and party lines are opposed to American intervention in this new fight between Israel and Iran. So Americans
Wait,
want to know
can
about
you
America.
walk me through
Americans
that?
want
Can you walk me
to
through some of
focus on
that poll that you're seeing?
What was that?
Can you walk me through some of that poll that you're seeing? You're talking about all Americans. Was that the Economist poll?
I think it was a YouGov poll. I think it was a
I think it was
YouGov
Economist,
poll.
YouGov together.
Yeah, and so I looked a little bit at that. Hannah Nightingale covered that for the Post Millennial. I didn't dig too much into it, but I was surprised to see that it was across all parties. I mean, both parties don't want to get involved. All sexes, male and female, don't want to get involved. All races don't want to get involved. And it was across class lines too. If I recall, there were income categories as well. And people don't want to have America get involved in this conflict. You had President Trump, when he was campaigning for office, touted his record in the first term that no new wars were started, no new foreign wars were started. And that was certainly something that was part of the impulse for a lot of people to vote for him this time around. Americans love when we're not at war and we can focus on the issues we have here at home instead of being a policeman to the world.